All right, on the talking point this evening, the debate on freebies or the Revdi culture, as the Prime Minister put it. Shazia Ilmi, BJP National Spokesperson, joining us. Adil Singh Boparai, Congress Spokesperson. Jasmine Shah, Aam Aadmi Party Spokesperson. Govt Chaudhary is Consulting Editor with Money Control. Professor Nilanjan Banik is Economist with the Mahindra University. And Kapil Sankla, Lawyer at the Supreme Court. Let me start with Jasmine Shah, because clearly the Prime Minister has raised this issue of the Revdi culture. But even before that, in June of this year, the Reserve Bank of India had flagged off the precarious state of finances of various states across the country, whereby it particularly flagged off the issue of freebies, particularly power subsidies and fertilizer subsidies. Has the time come, Jasmine, to stop particularly these non-merit subsidies, which the RBI has also flagged off and which the Prime Minister referred to?
Saka, you are right. There is a cause to worry about the finances of many states and most importantly, the Union of India. And the reason for that is not the welfare benefits that you give to the poorest of the poor. It is because how 10 lakh crores of NPAs have been written off. Written off. We're not talking about just declared NPAs. These are write-offs that have happened off the books of the public sector banks. Total 5 crore of corporate tax waivers have been given in the last 7 years. And you look at the way the debt of the union government has soared today to 140 lakh crore. It's historic. We've never been so debt ridden. For the first time, the government of India is saying we don't have money to pay to the Jawans. That is why we'll bring Agnipath scheme. We don't have money for the 8th pay commission. We'll cut Manrega. We'll cut this scheme. We'll cut that scheme. You look at UP, 6 lakh crore of debt. You look at Gujarat, 3 lakh crore of debt. So clearly there is some cause of concern that money is being siphoned off to rich friends of BJP, whereas the poor people, in the name of Revdi, an attempt is being made to stop free schools, to stop free hospitals, to stop free basic amenities like water or electricity. And mind you, in Delhi, where we give all these benefits, we are running a surplus state. No RBI, no report of the government of India has ever called out Delhi for poor finances. So that is the reason as a country we have to worry that we should stop this culture of giving a free check to all the wealthy friends of the parties in
just
power
one
and
clarification.
call out the poor people for the
one clarification.
That are given to them.
When you say 10 lakh crore write-off, a write-off is a technical write-off. It's not that money will not be recovered. Like, for example, in the case of Vijay Mallya.
No, but Zaka,
one second. Just give me 30 seconds. Just give me 30 seconds.
I'm glad you pointed this out.
Just give me 30 seconds. I just want to explain this to our viewers in layman language. If, let's say, Mallya owed 10,000 crores to the government, it doesn't mean that the write-off of 10,000 crores has happened. They will attach his properties. They have attached, in the case of, let's say, Kingfisher, they've attached his aeroplanes. In the case of Nirav Modi, they have sold some of his jewelry. His properties have been attached. So recoveries will happen. A write-off does not mean it's an unrecoverable loan. Anyway, I just wanted that clarification.
Very quick response.
Okay, quickly, and then I want to go to Shazia.
Very quick response. Yeah. Absolutely. I'm glad you pointed out the difference. Now look at the numbers, Zaka. RBI report says that the historic trend is that only 14% of the write-offs are ever recovered. So in that sense, practically there is no difference. And you tell me, you said, Mr. Mallya's this thing has been attached. Tell me total 10,300 willful defaulters are there. Tell me how many of them have been put behind jail. If these are not the friends of BJP, then you tell us how many of these 10,000 people you put behind jail.
Shazia Ilmi, I want to talk about substance, because clearly there seems to be a distinction that's being made from Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman also clarifying yesterday that welfareism is one thing, but freebies are something else. Now the question that people are naturally asking is, how are you making that distinction? For example, PM Kisan Nidhi, where you're paying 6,000 rupees to farmers every year. How is that different from what the Aam Aadmi Party is promising in Punjab, 1,000 rupees to all women? Or how are you drawing the distinction between Ujjwala? No, one second. How is Ujjwala, which is 2 cylinders to poor households, how is that different from free electricity? So how are you making this distinction? Yes, Shazia.
Okay, so I will, just as Nirmala ji pointed out, and as we understand it, us being a welfare state, it is the mandate of the government and the duty of the government to be responsible for the citizens, especially the marginalized ones, and therefore it...
Go on, I can hear you. Go on, Shazia, go on.
Pardon me. So it is a responsibility of the state to actually take care of its citizens, and which is exactly what every government does. But when we talk about freebies, we are talking also about 1,000 rupees being promised as a pre-election SOP. So a budgetary allocation differentiated from a pre-election SOP as politics of greed or a kind of a bribe which is being offered, 1,000 rupees to every woman, knowing very well that is untenable financially, knowing very well that the state of Punjab is facing acute financial distress, and still promising it only to make sure that you kind of incentivize people, not because of your policies or your plan, but because of some incentive of money. But because Mr. Jasmine does not understand the difference between NPAs and the entire conversation of freebies, and because Arvind Kejriwal is clearly trying to obfuscate the issue now that it's raging in the Supreme Court, I must tell you some figures. Public sector banks have recovered 6.41 lakh crores. 6.41, almost 6.5 lakh crores of rupees from NPAs under Modi government, and has written off loans from 2015 to now. But the NPA ratio has declined from 8% to 2%. And as you explain, and as FM has explained, and anybody who knows something basic about economics, and I'm sure Arvind Kejriwal does, but just says this to fool people, that when you write off a loan, as you explained, it is not that you are letting them off, and it is only our government that has tried to get all of these fugitives back, and we know exactly how successful we've been, and the entire country believes in the processes that are underway to get all of these.
I want to flag one particular subsidy which